Hey traders, Nick here looking at Alibaba. They reported earnings this morning. This is a company that is chugging along just nicely. It's pretty impressive what they're doing. Last year we had, well, investors had an aha moment with Baba where they stepped up in level. The company came out very bullish. Technically, it looked pretty promising and we went long, but I definitely did not expect how long that the ride would last. So they basically said we're going to do great things, and they delivered. But Wall Street believed them on their word when they said they were going to do it, and then that moved again higher when they actually delivered. So here we are at a new platform, so to speak, technically. And they have defended this bottom quite vigorously several times. While this is great, it creates a ledge from which they cannot afford to lose. Because if they lose this bottom, then we'll have to talk about this zone right here, 150 to 155. It's not a forecast, but this is the risk of being elevated, dangling like this. A lot of open gaps here, and easy come, easy go, they say, right? But it's not necessary that they fill all of these. It's just that if we lose this nice solid bounce level, then lower prices. But let's talk about higher prices this morning. First of all, the stock had a good week because of, I believe, Citron Research, who usually comes out with shorting ideas, said this is so heavily shorted, it's great. And the stock rallied. Luckily, being long it, now I have a chance to trade after the fact. They delivered on earnings. They beat top, bottom line. They said FY full year of 2019 is going to have 60% growth on the top line, which is very impressive. Maintaining growth like that, and the more impressive part is that they're going to do it at increasing profitability. So it's not like they're bleeding cash in order to do it. Sort of like Amazon. People said, well, it's not profitable enough. That's because they're spending everything to grow and by choice, and they can dial it back anytime they want, and they proved it this time. This is a strong, good balance of that without the obvious overspending. So they basically the management left no reason to short it. So very few reasons to short it. You have to really know the company and nitpick some stuff that I don't delve into. So the fundamental story is still alive. The technical story still looks good. The environment still is okay in spite of all the scary stuff that's in the air. So this is a tradable from the long side. If I'm long, I don't get out of it. If I want to get long, I probably wait to see what if I'm just buying the shares outright, I would probably nibble. Start, I should say, with calls or call spreads, or puts sold, or credit put spreads, or bull put spreads, however you're going to call it. The whole stock market is on pins and needles these days. I think it's going to work out over time, but the headlines have been so negative, but we're still hanging out. So it's a good setup for higher prices. But the Baba picture looks pretty darn good from here. Management said it was cool. The chart says it's looking okay, so there's no fundamental and there's no technical reason to sell it. So even in neutral days, it should outperform. I think the spike was about 4% higher on the headline, and it's still higher right now by $3 or so. The window's too small for me to see it from here, but it's looking like a good day for Baba on a Friday. This is a Friday, anything can happen. We also have the non-farm payroll, the jobs report from the U.S., the government jobs report, and let's see how that moves the stock. All right, Nick signing off. If you need to reach me, it's sellspreads@gmail.com. sellspreads@gmail.com.